What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I am Alexis Tion. In today's video, I'm gonna be telling y'all how I bought my first home at the age of 25. I'm no longer 25. I literally just turned 26 on January 13th. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing how, then make sure y'all stay tuned and watch this video. First things first, I just want to say that I did not know I wanted to buy a home at the age of 25. I literally made this decision at least 6 months where I knew I was gonna move. I just got to the point of, I was like, hey, I'm so tired of paying these high rental fees. Watch my $3,000 apartment tour where I talked about how much I was paying in rent, how much I was paying in utilities, all these other things. I just was tired of it, and I said, hey, if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna spend money on something that I own. Your girl is gonna put the money on a mortgage, and that's what she did, okay? At the beginning of the year, I said, you know what, I'm gonna save to buy a home. So I started saving. I started budgeting out my paycheck. At the time, I didn't know how much I was willing to spend on a home. Didn't even know that I would get approved or qualified for a loan to buy a home, because I've never bought a home before, never applied for anything this big. I started working with a realtor 4 months out before knowing that I was moving. And I knew at the time the realtor couldn't really do anything for me because I wasn't there in the area, and I did not want to buy a home without being there to look at the home in person, which was totally okay. So me and my realtor, we had a great relationship. They were very helpful, answered all my questions that I had. But I do want to give a piece of advice. If you know people that are in the real estate world, make sure if you do ask for advice, or if they give you advice, it is advice from literally a neutral place, or a place of, hey, I want the best for you. Not advice from, hey, this what you need to do. You need to, like, make sure advice is coming from a welcoming place that can benefit you, not from benefiting them. My parents ended up telling me, like, hey, you know, since this is your first home, we actually know somebody, they can kind of help you out, you know, a good friend of the family type person. I was like, you know what, I want somebody that's gonna have the best interest in me, so let me just try to bring on like somebody else that can answer all my questions, that can help me out. And then I noticed that it literally started becoming a problem because both parties were giving me information about the home buying process, but it was completely opposite and different information, and it was putting me in the weirdest place ever, and I hate weird. And it just became way too much, so I decided, okay, hey, I'm gonna have to cut ties with my realtor and go with the person that has basically the best interest in me at the time. So I ended up cutting ties with my realtor. I explained everything. They were great, they were awesome, but I just said, hey, I have somebody close to heart that I would love to work with. So that was that. But literally I soon found out this person may not have the best interest in me. So my bank offered me a realtor, and I ended up taking that realtor, which was okay because they offered me like, hey, if you close with our company, we'll give you X amount back. And I was like, you know what, oh yeah, I ended up going with them. I can say that when I first got closer to I should apply for my loan, that's when I started looking at interest rates. At the time, interest rates was climbing. They was sky high. There wasn't no 2%, there wasn't no 3% at the time. They was getting up there. So I knew that this was a very crucial time in the market. Like, if I wanted to buy, I knew I had to do it ASAP, right? Closer that I'm get to actually moving, I said, let me go ahead and apply for my VA loan, because if y'all don't know, I am in the military. So I decided to go with my VA loan, and at that time I said I'm gonna go for the lowest amount I know I can afford. I didn't know how much they would be paying me for housing. I didn't know really how much my paychecks were going to be, because like I said, I'm moving to a whole new area. So I said, let me go with something that's kind of feasible, that I think will be a little bit comfortable for me. So I ended up kind of, I don't want to say lowballing because it wasn't a low price at all, but I ended up saying, okay, and I'm gonna tell y'all, so the price range that I was shooting, 180 all the way up to 420, right? So at the time, I did not make my loan for 420. I did not do that. I said, okay, let's go way under that. Let's go half of that, okay? Just to see if we get accepted first. So I ended up getting accepted like that. It literally was super quick. But by that time, the previous people that I was working with, when I worked with my old realtor, they had already kind of ran my credit, because I was going to work with some of the lenders that they knew. We was going to go off like the lowest, most competitive interest rate. And like I said, I ended up going through another bank after I stopped working with my realtor, but they had already ran my credit. And that's the thing that I was like, okay, this may affect me getting a home. Affected. It just, I still got approved. So after my VA loan gets accepted, I send it to my realtor. As soon as I get there, I want to have something lined up. I want to go looking like ASAP. And my realtor was on board with showing me homes, or at least I thought. So I literally texted my realtor the night I landed and I said, hey, I am here, I am ready. Like, can you please line some stuff up to look at? But fast forward to, I wanna say later that week, cause I moved on a Monday. Like, I arrived to my new location on a Monday. And then by that Friday, I knew that I wanted to go on house hunting that Friday so I can be in a house ASAP, because the military was not gonna pay for my hotel after 10 days. And if I'm staying in a hotel past 10 days and I gotta pay out of pocket, y'all already know. It's gonna add up real quick. So I was like, hey, I'm on it. And then every house that I'm saving on like Zillow, on like Realtor, like all these apps that like advertise these homes, like I'm saving homes, but literally the next day these homes are under contract. Like they're moving like this. And at this time, interest rates are doubling up from the last time that I seen them. So I'm like, okay, I have to act. Now, I still knew, and if y'all are wondering, did the interest rate like increase? Did it scare you? Absolutely not. Did the market going fast, did it scare you? Absolutely not. I saw opportunity. And like I said, if you're scared to buy now and you have the means to do so, I don't want to pressure you into buying, but what's holding you back? And for me, things I know, hey, I got the funds to do so. I have my mindset to do this. There ain't nothing holding me back but some high interest rates and some competition. It's always gonna be competition. Price is always gonna go up. Let me hop in this market. The thing that kind of scared me the most is that my realtor wasn't on the same page as me. And I literally was putting so much trust and so much energy into them and expressing to them, hey, I need to move quick. Hey, I need to see a home quickly. So that Thursday comes, the day before I asked my realtor to look at homes, because I asked for that Friday. That Thursday comes and I don't hear anything. It's ghost. They're not responding. Friday comes, today I wanted to look at homes. I'm texting, I am calling, nothing. Emailing, nothing. Realtors just ghost. So I go to that supervisor or that next person in line. Can you please assist? And then literally moments after I did that, realtor hits me up. We need to make a move on the market because these homes are selling quickly. I just said it, but you ain't respond. So my realtor literally set some homes up for me to look at. I want to say I looked at one that afternoon. The one I looked at wasn't really my style, but I was just so happy to finally be looking at a home. When I just want to say that when I looked at homes, the things that I was very adamant about getting was I wanted something that wasn't too outdated. Of course, walls can be repainted, some things can be renovated, but something that I didn't have to put that much money into, but something I could put a little bit into and get a big return out of. So I looked at schooling system, neighborhoods, the neighbors. I looked at the opportunity around the home, not just the home itself and how it looked. Like, what does this home have to offer? Like, is it near a grocery store? Is it near something to do, activities? Does it have a great schooling system? All these things that kind of contribute to making a home a home. And then when it came to home itself, I looked for a garage because of course I'm a woman, I want security. I look for a yard was kind of my thing because y'all know I have a dog, but if I couldn't get a yard, okay, haven't had a yard before. But I just literally took all these things into factors when I looked at homes, and I'll include a few videos of the homes that I looked at. So basically that day, didn't like the home I looked at, but I was still hopeful. Next day came, I had 4 or 5 homes that my realtor had lined up for me. And then one of the homes, I want to say it was my 4th home that I looked at. It was a townhouse, beautiful community, insulated garage. The only thing about the townhouse was the bathroom needed a little bit of work, the master bathroom, but it was livable, it was beautiful. The kitchen and the downstairs area was renovated, it was modern, it was nice, right? Soon as I walked in, my realtor said that it has 6 offers on it already. So I already knew that as soon as I walked into it, I'm gonna submit an offer on this home, but I kind of already knew my offer is not gonna get accepted if it has 6 offers on this home already. listed at a really low price, something that I could have greatly afforded and then easily renovated the bathroom. But with the price, and at the time, because it was a seller's market, at the time of the market, I just knew it was gonna go like that, and it did. So the next day, after I submitted my offer, I went back to my realtor's office. We did a bunch of paperwork. I finally signed my contract saying I'm on a contract with my realtor. I can't work with any other realtor. And then I ended up deciding, okay, this already has tons of offers on it, so let me try to aim high and submit a high offer. So I want to say I probably went 10 to 15. And when I say 10 to 15 grand over on this home, because like I said, it was listed at a really low price. But how your VA loan works, actually, if the home is appraised lower than what you offered on that home for, you pay the difference. So like for me, I'm pretty sure they got that home appraised and they listed it at the appraising price, but I literally offered way above what that home would have appraised for, and I would have had to pay the difference, which thank God I didn't get that home, because that was a lot I would have had to pay, plus closing costs, because seller's market, buyer pays closing costs. Keep that in mind because you need to get ready. But yeah, I kind of knew what I was up against. Yeah, I didn't even get my hopes up. Also, I waived the inspection, which 100% do not recommend, especially if you're gonna make that your primary living residence, or unless the home is new construction. You can just tell that something's not really wrong with the home. But I waived the inspection, decided to do it for informational purposes only. And what that means is when they came through to inspect like the entire house to make sure I'm not buying a totally damaged house, anything they found wrong with it, it just would have been for my knowledge. It's just not recommended to do that. Like I said, I had a gut feeling my offer might not get accepted. That was okay, whatever, even though I was really sad. But the next day, my realtor ended up calling me and saying, hey, your offer did not get accepted. And at that point, I was like, okay, my realtor's gonna line some other stuff up for me because I gotta keep going. I'm very serious about this. So that next day came and I didn't hear from my realtor. And I was like, I'm ready to look at homes. Like, I gotta keep going. So I reached out to my realtor and I'm like, hey, like, do you have anything else lined up? I'm sending homes left and right. And I'm like, can you set this up? Can you set this up? And no response. Literally hours and hours and hours go by, no response. The next day comes and I still don't hear from my realtor. So I politely reach back out and I just say, hey, I feel like you are not on the same page that I am on. And don't be afraid to let people know respectfully if they are not meeting your standards, or if you feel like they are not helping you, because you are paying these people in the end buying process, because this is very serious, especially if you are a new or first time buyer. And yeah, this is really serious. So I ended up telling my realtor and they called me, they apologized, and things just progressively got worse, and I ended up asking for a swap. So got swapped to, or assigned to, a new realtor, and this time they gave me two, y'all, because they was like, we're gonna make sure you get help, we're gonna make sure you get the services you needed. And yeah, it was awesome having two, because we literally were in a group chat and every question I had, they were responding immediately. So the first day that we worked together, they literally set me up some places to see. So ended up coming to look at my house one morning, the current house that I did end up buying, looked at the house. And like I said, I'm looking at the opportunity on the outside of the house. I have a cousin that's owned a lot of homes that I really trust deeply. So I reached out, which is what I should have did all along. I reached out to my cousin and he gave me some really good advice and told me hop on the opportunity. So I ended up looking in this home, and of course I've seen things that can be updated. I've seen things that can be painted. But like I said, put in a little to get out a lot. That's the kind of path I wanted to take. So I ended up saying, this is the home for me. I want this one. I submitted an offer at asking price, which wasn't even what my loan was for. It was way under what my loan was for. So thank God that I could have did that. And I didn't have to spend all that money, because like I said, interest rates still climbing and my interest rate was really, really high. But yeah, I submitted an offer at asking price. Appraisal came back for more than what I submitted it for. If your appraisal does come back for more than what you submitted for, then that's a good thing. You don't pay anything out of pocket in terms of like differences. But like I said, I still had to pay for my inspection. Inspection was one thing. Inspection caught a lot of things, but it didn't catch a lot of things as well. So I definitely would recommend, if you can, get 2 or 3 more inspections. They're very pricey, very expensive. And also, if you're buying with your VA loan, it is required for you to have an inspection on a home. Whether you use it or not, you have to pay for it. And then also you have to get like your termite and pest inspection as well. But nothing too alarming about the house that they found. I found more things living in it than they told me about, but don't let that scare you. That's just a part of the game, how it goes. But yeah, I ended up moving into my home. Closing was a hot mess, honestly, for me. But I met people who had great closing experiences. I closed, it took me 30 days to close, even though I was getting things done like that. The seller literally was trying to stay in it to the last minute. Seller even said, hey, you can move in with me until you close. I do thank God that I did decide to buy. Even though I bought at the height of the market, I still am grateful. I still am just like blessed that I bought a house. Honestly, maybe in the future I can talk to y'all more about the plans that I have for this house, and hopefully my video helps somebody out there that's trying to buy a house. Of course, if y'all have like any questions, comments, concerns about any of the processes or like what I went through, if you want me to talk about something more specifically that's not too personal, just leave it in the comment box below. And then of course, as always, I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.